My name is Jamie Keller, and until last month, I lived in Hollow's End, a sleepy town in the Appalachian foothills where nothing ever happened. Then, on October 12th, my brother texted me, "Since when is Hollow's End not on Google Maps?" I laughed. I just used maps that morning to navigate to work. But when I typed in Hollow's End, Pennsylvania, the search returned nothing. Just empty forest and a cracked highway labeled Unnamed Road. Satellite images showed no buildings, no streets, no signs of life. Our town had been erased. The mayor blamed a glitch. The local Facebook group buzzed with jokes about government conspiracies. But 3 days later, the first person vanished. Mara Simmons, the librarian, didn't show up to open the library. Her house was empty, coffee still brewing, her cat yowling in the kitchen. The police found no clues, just a faint metallic smell lingering in the air, like rust and ozone. Then the call started. Voices that weren't human hissed through phone lines at 3:33 a.m. "They're coming," my mother's voice rasped from my dead father's number. "Don't let them see you." When I checked the caller ID later, the number was all zeros. The final straw was the road signs. Overnight, every sign pointing to Hollow's End was replaced with blank, weathered posts. The highway out of town now looped back in a perfect circle, stranding us. That's when I found the journal in the town archives. It belonged to Elias Hollow, the town's founder, in 1783. The last entry froze my blood. "The bargain is made. The Watchers will protect us, but they must feed. When the stars align, the town vanishes, and the offering begins. God forgive us." The next page held a list of names. Every mayor since 1783, including my grandfather. That night, I heard the drums. The drums started at sunset, a deep, resonant pounding that vibrated in my bones. From my window, I saw figures in tattered black robes marching toward the woods. Their faces were hidden, but their hands glinted with rings made of bone. I followed, phone recording. Deep in the forest, they gathered around a stone altar covered in symbols that matched Elias Hollow's journal. The air hummed with static. One figure raised a knife and plunged it into a writhing sack. A muffled scream. Blood pooled, seeping into the carvings. The ground shook. Trees bent like worshippers. And then it appeared. A towering figure, with too many limbs, its body shifting between solid and smoke. The Watcher. It spoke without a mouth, its voice a chorus of everyone I'd ever known. "The offering is accepted. 5 more." I ran. The woods twisted, paths dissolving into thorns. When I stumbled into town, it was changed. Buildings leaned at impossible angles. Shadows moved on their own, and the people, their eyes were gone, replaced by swirling black voids. Only a few of us were still whole. We met in secret, me, my brother Liam, and Rosa, the high school biology teacher. "They're marking us," Rosa said, rolling up her sleeve. A symbol glowed on her wrist, a circle split by 3 lines. "They're choosing who gets sacrificed next." Liam hacked into the town's security cameras. The footage showed the Watcher stalking the streets at night, dragging its claws along doors. Homes with marked residents were circled in blood-red paint. We found more of Elias Hollow's journals hidden under the church. The Watchers weren't guardians, they were parasites. Every 50 years, the town disappeared to hide the sacrifices. The founders traded lives for prosperity, gold in the mines, fertile soil, protection from disasters. But the Watchers always demanded more. The last journal entry was a map. It led us to the mineshaft where Elias Hollow's corpse sat entombed, his skeleton fused to the wall by black vines. Clutched in his hand was a rusted key. The key opened a vault beneath the town hall. Inside were Polaroids of past offerings, men, women, children chained to the altar as the Watcher peeled them apart. The most recent photo showed Mara Simmons mid-scream, her skin covered in symbols. But the worst was the film reel. We projected it in Rosa's basement. Grainy footage showed the 1923 offering. The Watcher devoured 5 victims, then spat out copies. Doppelgangers with dead eyes, now part of the hive. The film ended with a title card, Hollow's End, a model community, 1924. Liam traced the town's glitch to a server farm owned by a shell corporation, Hollow Enterprises. The website was a single looping phrase, "We see you." The marks on our wrists spread. Rosa vanished next. We found her classroom covered in bloody equations, her final message scrawled on the board. "They're in the wires." That night, the Watcher came for Liam. It oozed from the TV screen, static flesh dripping onto the carpet. Liam fought, smashing its form with a crowbar, but it reformed, laughing. "You belong to us now," it gurgled, before dragging him into the static. I fled to the mineshaft, Elias Hollow's journal in hand. The answer had to be there. It was. The final page, hidden under a flap, held a spell, a way to bind the Watcher, but it required a sacrifice. Only blood of the blood can end the cycle. My grandfather's name was on the list. My blood was the key. I returned to the altar at midnight, Elias Hollow's knife in my hand. The Watcher waited, its form flickering like a corrupted screen. "I'm ending this," I said. "Fool," it hissed. "You are the offering." I plunged the knife into my arm, letting my blood drip onto the symbols. The ground split. The Watcher screamed as chains of light erupted from the altar, wrapping around its form. "By blood of the blood, I bind you," I shouted, reciting the spell. The Watcher thrashed, its screams merging with the townsfolk's voices. The sky cracked open, a blinding light swallowing the forest. Then silence. The Watcher was gone. The altar crumbled to dust. I passed out, clutching my bleeding arm. When I woke, the town was normal. Birds chirped, neighbors waved. The highway stretched open, Google Maps restored. At the town limits, a new sign read, Hollow's End, population 103. But the police had no record of Mara, Rosa, or Liam. Their homes belonged to strangers. The archives held no mention of Elias Hollow. When I checked my wrist, the mark was gone. I thought I'd won. Then the email started. Messages from Hollow Enterprises flooded my inbox. Attachments showed security footage of me at the altar, the Watcher's voice whispering, "You only bound one. We are Legion." Last night, the drums returned. I followed the sound to the forest. A new altar stood where the old one had been. 5 robed figures chanted, their faces pixelated like glitches. Behind them loomed 3 Watchers, their forms darker, hungrier. One turned to me, its voice a distorted echo of my own. "Thanks to you, we've upgraded." Now, as I write this, my computer screen flickers. The population sign outside flashes, 1098. They're coming for the rest. And when they're done, you're next.